So, understanding self-awareness and why understanding our mental cage is actually your first step to freedom. So we are hashtag walk it free, right? I am Stephanie Zima, the founder of the Walk It Free mentorship program where we heal, connect, and level up. And what do we heal? We heal our inner paradigm, our childhood wounds, our things that are holding us back, the wounds that we have encountered over the course of our lives. Then we connect with our vision, our mission, our authentic selves, and we are leveling up by taking small, achievable actions that will get us where we want to go. Okay. Now, if that sounds something like you can use, if you feel stuck and you want to feel unstuck, and you just don't really know why you're procrastinating, why you're self-doubting, you don't know how to gain that self-confidence that you want and that you need in order to succeed with whatever it is that you want to, make sure you subscribe, make sure you watch my videos, make sure to let me know that you're watching, that you're here. Download the blueprint, maybe, just get into the surroundings, because I talk all things personal development. I talk about the brain, the limiting beliefs, how to get confident, and all the stuff. So make sure you tune in, take what you need, and grow with me. Okay, let's walk it free. All right, so we are going to talk a little bit more about the mental cage and how we can get out. Many of us don't even know that we are having a mental cage. We just go about life and we just try to do the best we can every single day. And then we complain and we are sitting in victimhoods and we are thinking, oh my gosh, we're not able to do the thing, and I don't have enough money, and my health is not where I want it to be, and I don't have the funds. And then we are falling into comparison mode. We are scrolling on social media. We are looking at other people. We are looking at our neighbors. We are like, oh my gosh, they're having this, they're having that. Yeah, must be nice. And when you see all this negativity happening all over the place, it's so sad because everyone is stuck in their mental cage. The reason why people are so angry all over the place is because they're not realizing that they are in this mental cage. You too can have every single thing you want. You too can be every single thing you want. You just have to break free, walk it free from what's keeping you stuck, right? And what's keeping us stuck is our inner paradigm, our old patterns, things that we have adopted without ever questioning. We are following patterns that our parents and our caregivers have been living without us even recognizing that we maybe want to take a look if this is even still for us. Okay, where does that problem show up? It shows up everywhere. It shows up in your relationships, it shows up in your job, it shows up in your friendships, it shows up in your professional life, in the way how you build your business. It shows up everywhere. And if you don't check your paradigm, if you don't check what is behind your procrastination, your self-doubt, your things, your behaviors, your every single day behavior, you will never level up. You will be stuck in this mental cage. Okay, so what does that look like? Let's start here. Okay, so how does a mental cage impact our everyday behavior? Automatic responses, for example. Okay, your paradigm dictates exactly what you're doing every single day, how you're responding to situations. The way how you were raised, this is how you are going to react and what you are going to do. I have to work hard to be worthy, for example, are statements in your brain that keep repeating. You might overwork them because in your brain there's a thought that says, I have to work hard to be worthy. Okay, that's a subconscious thought that is in your brain, and it can be any kind of thought. So you have to start doing the work and thinking to yourself, what is a repeating thought that I have over and over and over again that keeps me stuck? Okay, what is the thought? If you know the thought, drop it in the comments right now. I would love to know. And it's different for everyone. That's why it's so tough sometimes when you are watching these courses and you're having pain, you're trying to do things, because everyone is different. Your paradigm is different than my paradigm. Your paradigm is different than her paradigm and her paradigm. And we are all so different because we have different upbringings, different factors, different environments that we grew up in, and different experiences. And every one of us, we are not plants, like sometimes we think we are just going to grow older and we're going to get wiser, but that's not the case. You have to actually grow yourself up. You don't grow yourself. I mean, you can grow older, but that doesn't mean you get wiser in your brain. So think about, what are your automated responses? What is it? What thoughts are behind it? What are you keep repeating to yourself? And then, how do you perceive yourself? Self-perception is key. What do you think about yourself? I'm not good enough at public speaking, for example. See, my brain right now is telling me, oh my gosh, I'm not using a proper English. Maybe my German keeps coming through like, okay, I had to work through this to overcome the fear of public speaking. You may not like it. Maybe I'm not using the right words, but maybe you are saying, you know what? And this is how I reframed it. Maybe your English is not super great. However, you're speaking in terms that I can understand. Because when you hear some of these speakers, they are speaking amazing, right? They're having all these big words. And then you sit there and think, oh, I don't understand the thing they're saying. So who knows, right? It's not my job to sit here and deliver and think like, oh, maybe maybe they are not able to understand what I'm saying. Maybe they can't. That's not my job. My job is to show up. My job is to deliver a message. And my job is not to worry about how you believe it. The people who are meant to see me and the people who are meant to see my videos will see my videos. They will tune in, and everyone else won't. Okay. So you have to reframe certain things. But first, you got to be aware. In order to reframe, you have to be aware. What is it that you're thinking about yourself? What is your paradigm saying? I've been always told I talk too much. Well, now I want to make talking too much into a paid gig, right? It's helping me a lot. And it's helping a lot of other people that I coach to my love of talking. So, what is it for you? What are you anxious about? What are the thoughts that are in your brain? Now, decision making, for example, that is where you can see that you are in a mental cage, right? If you're having trouble to make decisions, your paradigms create subconscious filters that affect your choices. If your belief is, for example, you have a thought, money is hard to earn, okay, you might avoid investing or taking risks that lead to your financial growth because you are acting in compliance with what your thought is from your previous upbringing, okay, from the teachings that you have encountered. If you are having issues with your relationships, for example, maybe it's because you're thinking something like, I must please others to be loved. You might be struggling with setting the boundaries and speaking your truth. Because, see, it would contradict if you stop pleasing others, and your thought in your brain, in your paradigm is, I must please others to be loved. And now you're stopping it because it's hurting you. You're maybe overworking yourself and you're over pleasing and I can think of a friend right now who does over and over and over and over for other people. And it's not being reciprocated, right? It's not being reciprocated. So that leads to a burnout. If you say, I must please others to be loved, and you then need to stop because you're burned out, you're basically realizing that, or the fear can sneak up on you that you are then not being loved anymore. But that's wrong, because you are worth, without doing anything right now, to the right people, you're worth everything, even though you are not even doing anything. So it's important that you understand that some of these repetitive cycles that you're feeling stuck in are coming from old thoughts, old beliefs, okay? Maybe in success and failure, your paradigm tells you that success is that you have to be lucky or privileged in order for you to have success. That maybe success is only for certain people, but not for you. think about it. Is that really a true statement? Why would that be? Why would success only come to certain people, right? You have to challenge these thoughts a little bit to think outside the box and to work with it. Now, how can you change your paradigm, right? You have to first become aware that you have a paradigm. Then you have to become aware of what kind of thoughts are either helpful or not helpful in your life. And then you have to realize that when you want to change it after awareness, and then so first awareness, then you challenge it. Now you have to reprogram it. You have to reprogram and replace these old patterns, these old beliefs, these old paradigms, and through maybe affirmations, maybe visualizations, maybe aligned action. That's what we do in a mentorship program, right? That's exactly what I do with all my clients in this mentorship client things. We are identifying where we are right now, and then we are identifying of where we would want to be. Then we are identifying what is preventing us, what is the big gap, what do we need to do, how big is the canyon that we need to jump over, and do we maybe need to take different some people, they need to just take a small jump and that's it, that's where they are. Some people have a huge canyon from where they are right now to where they want to go, so that means that you might have to build some bridges here and there. Okay, it's all different, but I help all my clients to overcome some of these mindset obstacles, because sometimes you need someone that sees them. You may not see your blind spots, you may not see the obstacles. See, the value of a coach is that they can challenge your belief system. You may see that you're stuck, but you may not see why you're stuck because you cannot see your belief system. Okay, but a coach can actually help you find what it is that you're thinking, challenge it a little bit, and then help you reframe it so that you are actually going to be able to work with it. Now, when you start doing that work, a lot of times fear actually creeps up. A lot of fear of rejection, fear of judgment, fear of being ghosted from people. Like if you're building an online business, for example, like that, when you're feeling afraid of being ghosted, when you're trying to make, or even when you're making friends, you're trying to make friends, you're trying to have social connections, and out of the sudden people are ghosting you. Okay, they're not responsive. That is very, very scary, and it can be because maybe you are dealing with an abandonment trauma. See, we are not generally thinking trauma. We are not, even when our kids are acting out, we are not usually thinking that they might have trauma, but trauma is more common than you think. Okay, trauma is everywhere, and trauma doesn't have to come by really bad stuff. Trauma can be by a grandparent dying. Trauma can be by a parent being overly occupied. Trauma can be by parents getting a divorce. If you're resisting the fact that you might want to take a look at if you have a trauma that is holding you back, then you are choosing to be stuck, because there's a lot of different traumas that you may be having, right? Abandonment trauma is now one that I want to talk about. So where does this really would come from? Many people actually deal with abandonment trauma, and maybe your kids are also dealing with abandonment trauma. So just so you know, okay? Abandonment wounds, usually they originate in childhood experience. So what I already said, well, maybe a parent is leaving due to divorce or health issues or absence of any other kind. Maybe they are they're neglecting you emotionally, right? A parent was physically present but emotionally unavailable. That is not your fault, by the way. Okay, these circumstances trigger a lot of shame and a lot of pain. And so we are not wanting to look at it, but you have to look at it. You have to look at it because it won't get better if you don't. You are just going to feel more stuck. So look at it, realize it, understand it, and know that there's help. Know you can heal that. It's not a permanent state. See, sometimes I think we don't want to look at the pain because we are thinking it's a permanent state if we do, but it's not, okay? Let me give you some hope. Maybe abandonment wounds come from feeling unimportant or ignored, or adoption or foster care situations, right? I was thinking back, like, where did I get my abandonment wounds from? Where did I get my abandonment trauma from? And then I realized, like, wait a minute, I was in a foster situation. I had children come in and out of my family every 4 to 6 weeks. And I would build a bond as a child, and then they were gone. And then I built a bond, and they would be gone. And I built a bond, and they would be gone. Now think about the school system here. You make friends in a class, and now the next time they're gone. Now, do you think your children may have some abandonment issues? Maybe, I remember my kids are telling me this, like, I'm like, what happened to this and this friend? She's in a different class now. This school system, if you ask me, is really hard on people. Granted, I was grown up in Europe, and that school system was a little bit different, and we can't change it, and some people like it and some people don't. There's pros and cons for everything. But what we need to do is we need to become aware that if we have a trauma, we can just simply heal it. Okay, we can, as a child, we may not be able to heal it because things are happening, but as an adult, we have the responsibility to do it. And if you're feeling stuck somehow, if your relationships don't work out that way, you need to understand that that may be the issue, maybe the reason why you're having all the anxiety, maybe the reason why you're having all the doubt. Now, trauma in relationships is, for example, being ghosted or being left unexpectedly, betrayal or infidelity, toxic relationships where love was inconsistent or withdrawn as a punishment. So if somebody has stonewalling, for example, they just stonewall you, they're emotionally not available, now you can have trauma from that relationship, okay? Maybe it's in your generational patterns. If your caregivers had unresolved trauma or unresolved abandonment wounds, they may unconsciously, and that is the key, they may be unconsciously pass those on to you, right? Maybe they were overprotective or they were avoidant. This is trauma, you guys, and this can set off your anxiety. That can keep you stuck in self-doubt. This can keep you stuck in other things that you are now trying to escape or come out of it, okay? So how do abandonment wounds manifest in adulthood? And I think this is really important to understand, because it will help you. Understanding this will help you with your job, will help you with your business, will help you in your life, will help you with your family. It will help you with parenting. It will help you with everything. So when you are having a constant fear of rejection and people pleasing, for example, you're constantly seeking validation and approval. You are struggling to say no to people. You are overgiving in relationships to avoid being left. Okay? Those are signs. Difficulty trusting others. When you're expecting people to leave, when you're constantly expecting people to leave or betray you, like you're not trusting them. There's something you're always thinking, like, oh, I don't know what they're going to be doing. When you're pushing people away before they can get close to you is a sign. When you overanalyze people's words or actions or sign, they'll abandon you, right? When you are just having difficulty trusting, when you have anxiety in relationships, you have attachment issues, you're feeling insecure when a partner is distant, when you're needing constant reassurance, when you are avoiding relationships altogether, maybe you are not wanting anything to do with anybody, and you're like, nah, I'm good by myself, right? That is anxiety in relationships. You have attachment issues, self-sabotage and fear of success. Of course, it's the procrastinating. If you're procrastinating or downplaying your achievements, okay, I am guilty of both of those, for example. When I'm having achievements, I barely talk about it. I barely say all the things that I'm great at because they make me feel uncomfortable because that's an old subconscious pattern of mine. Like every time I would like say something that I did good, I was told, stop bragging. You're not all that. You're making other people feel bad if you shine your light so bright. All these subconscious sentences that are stuck in my paradigm, they are still there. So now when I want to talk about what a great coach I am, or what I could do here, or what I did here, or a parent, or it's really uncomfortable. And if you are working in online business, you know what I mean. If you have this, but clearly, how do you attract people? You've got to let them know what you know. Because if you don't know people, if you can't say about the things that you can help people with, if you can't talk about it, nobody's going to know about you. If you are the pizza store that has all the amazing things, right? You make the best pizza in town. If you don't know, right? If you don't know, like if nobody knows that you're existing, nobody will even get your pizza. Okay, so there, I'm coming off topic. So over dependence and hyper independence, for example, is also a sign that you have paradigm issues and abandonment wound possibly. You're clinging to relationships, you're fearing being alone, or you're becoming extremely independent. Sometimes that even is also when you're extremely independent. All that stuff. But, okay, you can heal. That is, right? Walk it free. You heal, connect, and level up. Okay, healing part, very important. Healing these abandonment wounds. Awareness and inner work is everything. Identifying what it is, what's going on. And this is why this mentorship program goes over weeks, because we are hearing about it, and then we're watching patterns. We're identifying as we go. Like, let's say you have a goal for your business, right? And self-sabotage is the problem. We are putting something in place, we are watching for the thoughts that are happening, we're talking things through, and then we're watching what else is popping up so we can really get to the bottom of it. That's where it's at. This is where you need to heal. You won't never be successful long term unless you have a solid foundation. You have to have a solid foundation of anything. Your marriage won't be solid if you don't have a solid foundation of what you want, what you need, and where you are at the current time. Okay. So healing and being aware of it is number one. How then? Next step would be your self-parenting. You have to give yourself the love, the security, and the validation you need. How do you do that? By simply understanding your metrics, okay? You need to learn to be more self-confident. That's how you parent yourself. How would I want to be, leadership, right? You have to be your own self-leader. But many people don't know how to be a leader. So maybe you know how to be a parent. How can you keep yourself accountable? How can you grow your self-confidence? How can you be more secure? How can you give your own self-validation? By knowing, hey, if I do this, then this is what good looks like, and this is where I'm at right now. And then you take action and you start realizing, like, wow, look at me, I did great. Okay, that's how you start healing that abandonment wound over and over and over, by self-reparenting. Emotional regulation, learning how to do EFT tapping or being mindful, having breathing, that's what helps you to get the fear at bay. Okay, you are putting yourself into positions all the time where you're maybe fearing something, but you're moving, you're fearing, you're moving, you're fearing, you're moving. You start reprogramming yourself, realizing that you can do hard things. Your fear has nothing on you. Your fear is just alarming you that that's the way to go. Okay, you reprogram and you redo this by emotional regulations, setting new boundaries. For example, you realize that you're not going to die when you say no to somebody. You realize that, yes, it may be uncomfortable in the moment to say no, but you're going to be okay. You are safe, right? You keep reassuring yourself that you are safe and that you can say no. It's important. And then lastly, right, it's hard to do things by yourself because you can't see your blind spots. So it's really, really important to have a coach, a therapist, anybody that a mentor, somebody that can help you get through these obstacles. And even if it's only a short time, right? Maybe it's only 3 months that you need to be in a program, but you need to have some kind of a framework that you then will be able to walk on and walk it free yourself. All right. If that was resonating with you, please make sure you have subscribed. Make sure you say hello. I would love to hear your takeaways in the comments of this video. What resonated with you the most? What was your aha moment? Let me know in the comments, and I love to connect with you soon.